So I'm using their Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Okay. Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are also paying our Dandavat Pranam to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for providing us this wonderful commentary and translation of Bhagavatam. And following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, we are praying to Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Yadi sevā-vañcitāḥ yasyāḥ kṛpayā vayaṃ labhema sarvaṃ prāpnumaḥ prayojanaṃ dhāmni śrī-bhagavat pade Kṛṣṇa-sambandhi sarvaṃ ca Yadi na jānīmahe tutam Aṣṭādaśasu sahasreṣu ślokānāṃ bhāgavat-oktiṣu Rādhārānīṃ na vindāmaḥ tadā Nishphalam bhagavat adhyayanam radhikaya kripam vina vyartasyat sarva-pariśramaḥ. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Rādhārānīṃ within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Srimad Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, all of our efforts are in vain. So we are continuing our reading from the last chapter of Canto 5. This is chapter 26, text 21. Yastvihāvai sarva bigamastam amutra niraye vartmanam vajrakantaka salmalim aropya nishkarshanti. A person who indulges in sex indiscriminately, even with animals, is taken after death to the hell known as Vajrakantaka Shalmali. In this hell there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraj hang the sinful man on that tree and pull him down forcibly so that the thorns very severely tear his body. Purport. The sexual urge is so strong that sometimes a man indulges in sexual relations with a cow or a woman indulges in sexual relations with a dog. Such men and women are put into hell known as Vajrakantaka Shalmali. The Krishna consciousness movement forbids illicit sex. From the description of these verses, we can understand what an extremely sinful act illicit sex is. Sometimes people disbelieve these descriptions of hell, but whether one believes or not, everything must be carried out by the laws of nature, which no one can avoid. Text 22. Ye tvihāvai rajanya raja purusha va apakanda dharma setun bindanti te samparetya vaitaranyam nipatanti bina maryadas tasyam niraya parikabhutayam nadyam yado kanar itas tato Bhakshamana atmana na viyujamanas chasubir uyamana svagena karma pakam anushmaranto vinmutra puyasonita keshad nakasti medho mamsa vasavahinyam upatapyante. A person who is born into a responsible family, such as a kshatriya, a member of royalty, or a government servant, but who neglects to execute his prescribed duties according to religious principles and who thus becomes degraded, falls down at the time of death into the river of hell known as Vaitarani. This river, which is the moat surrounding hell, is full of ferocious aquatic animals. When a sinful man is thrown into the river Vaitarani, the aquatic animals there immediately begin to eat him. But because of his extremely sinful life, he does not leave his body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full of stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. Don't want to go there. Text 22. Ye tviha vairajanya raja purusha va apakanda dharma setun bindanti te samparatya vaitaranyam nipatanti binhamaryadas tasyam niraya parika bhutayam nadyam yado ganhar itas tato bhakshamana atmanana viyujamanas chasubhir uyamana svagena karma pakam anusmaranto vinmutra puyasonita kesha nakasti medho mamsa vasavahinyam upatapyante. A person who is born into a we just did this, huh? What just happened? Okay. Next. Okay, it doesn't want to move forward. 23. Ye tviha vaivrashali patayo nasta sochachara niyamas tyaktalaja pashu chayam charanti te chapi pratyapuya vinmutrasleshma mala purnarnave nipatanti tad evati bibatsitam ashnanti. The shameless husbands of low-born Sudra women live exactly like animals, and therefore they have no good behavior, cleanliness, or regulated life. After death, such persons are thrown into the hell called Puyoda, where they are put into an ocean filled with pus, stool, urine, mucus, saliva, and similar things. Sudras who could not improve themselves fall into that ocean and are forced to eat those disgusting things. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Karmakanda Gyanakanda Kevala Vishera Bandha Amrita Bolia Ye Bekai Nanayoni Sadafire Kadarya Bhakshanakare Tara Janma Adha Pate Yaya. He says that persons following the paths of karmakand and jnanakand, fruit of activities and speculative thinking, are missing the opportunities for human birth and gliding down into the cycle of birth and death. Thus there is always the chance that he may be put into the Puyoda Naraka, the hell named Puyoda, where one is forced to eat stool, urine, pus, mucus, saliva, and other abominable things. It is significant that this verse is spoken especially about Sudras. If one is born a Sudra, he must continually return to the ocean of Puyoda to eat horrible things. Thus, even a born Sudra is expected to become a Brahmana. That is the meaning of human life. Everyone should improve himself. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, chatur varnyam maya shristam guna karma vibhagasa. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, 4 divisions of human society were created by me. Even if one is by qualification a Sudra, he must try to improve his position and become a Brahmana. No one should try to check a person, no matter what his present position is, from coming to the platform of a Brahmana or a Vaishnava. Actually, one must come to the platform of a Vaishnava. Then he automatically becomes a Brahmana. This can be done only if the Krishna consciousness movement is spread, for we are trying to elevate everyone to the platform of Vaishnava. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Svadharmam parityaga mam ekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all other duties and simply surrender unto me. One must give up the occupational duties of a Sudra, a Kshatriya, or Vaishya, and adopt the occupational duties of a Vaishnava, which include the activities of a Brahmana. Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita 9.32. Mam hi partha vyapashritya ye pishu papayonaya striho vaishyas tata sudras te piyanti paramgatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Sudras or workers, can approach the supreme destination. Human life is specifically meant for going back home, back to Godhead. That facility should be given to everyone, whether one be a Sudra, a Vaishya, a woman, or a Kshatriya. This is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. However, if one is satisfied to remain a Sudra, he must suffer as described in this verse. Tad evati bibatsitam ashnanti. Text 24. Ye tviha vaisva gardhaba patayo brahmanha dayo mrigaya vihara atirtecha mrigan nighanantitan api samparital lakshabhutan yama purusha ishubir vidhyanti. If in this life a man of the higher classes, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, is very fond of taking his pet dogs, mules, or asses into the forest to hunt and kill animals unnecessarily, he is placed after death into the hell known as Pranarodha. There the assistants of Yamaraj make him their targets and pierce him with arrows. Purport. In the Western countries especially, aristocrats keep dogs and horses to hunt animals in the forest. Whether in the West or East, aristocratic men in Kali Yuga adopt the fashion of going to the forest and unnecessarily killing animals. Men of the higher classes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, should cultivate knowledge of Brahman, and they should also give the Sudras a chance to come to that platform. If instead they indulge in hunting, they are punished as described in this verse. Not only are they pierced with arrows by the agents of Yamaraj, but they are also put into the ocean of pus, urine, and stool described in the previous verse. Text 25. Ye tviha vaidambika damba yajyeshu pashun vishashanti tan amushmil loke vaishase narake patitan niraya patayo yata yadha vishashanti. A person who in this life is proud of his eminent position and who heedlessly sacrifices animals simply for material prestige is put into the hell called Vishasana after death. There the assistants of Yamaraj kill him after giving him unlimited pain. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 6.41, Krishna says, Suchinam Śrīmatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Pijayate. Because of his previous connection with Bhakti Yoga, a man is born into a prestigious family of brahmanas or aristocrats. Having taken such a birth, one should utilize it to perfect Bhakti Yoga. However, due to bad association, one often forgets that his prestigious position has been given to him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he misuses it by performing various kinds of so-called yajnas like Kali Puja or Durga Puja, in which poor animals are sacrificed. How such a person is punished is described herein. The word dhamba yagyeshu in this verse is significant. If one violates the Vedic instructions while performing yajna and simply makes a show of sacrifice for the purpose of killing animals, he is punishable after death. In Calcutta, there are many slaughterhouses where killing of animal flesh is sold. In Calcutta, there are many slaughterhouses where animal flesh is sold that has supposedly been offered in sacrifice before the goddess Kali. The Shastras enjoin that one can sacrifice a small goat before the goddess Kali once a month. Nowhere is it said that one can maintain a slaughterhouse in the name of temple worship, and daily killing animals unnecessarily. Those who do so receive the punishments described herein. Text 26. Yastviha vai sabharnam bharyam dvijo reta payayati kama mohitastam papakritam amutra reta kuyayam patayitva reta sampayayanti. If a foolish member of the twice-born classes of Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya forces his wife to drink his semen out of a lusty desire to keep her under control, he is put after death into the hell known as Lalabhaksha. There he is thrown into a flowing river of semen, which he is forced to drink. Purport. The practice of forcing one's wife to drink one's own semen is a black art practiced by extremely lusty persons. Those who practice this very abominable activity say that if a wife is forced to drink her husband's semen, she remains very faithful to him. And generally, only low-class men engage in this black art, but if a man born in a higher class does so, after death he is put into the hell known as Lalabhaksha. There he is immersed in the river known as Sukranadi and forced to drink semen. Text 27. Ye tviha dasyavo gnidha garada graman sartan va vilum panti rajano rajabata va tams chapihi paretya yamaduta vajra dabstrasvana sapta satani vimshatis cha sarabasam kadanti. In this world, some persons are professional plunderers who set fire to other houses or administer poison to them. Also, members of the royalty or government officials sometimes plunder mercantile men by forcing them to pay income tax and by other methods. After death, such demons are put into the hell known as Saramayadana. On that planet, there are 720 dogs with teeth as strong as thunderbolts. Under the orders of the agents of Yamaraj, these dogs voraciously devour such sinful people. Purport. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that in this age of Kali, everyone will be extremely disturbed by three kinds of tribulations: scarcity of rain, famine, and heavy taxation by the government. Because human beings are becoming more and more sinful, there will be a scarcity of rain, and naturally no food grains will be produced. On the plea of relieving the suffering caused by the ensuing famine, the government will impose heavy taxes, especially on the wealthy mercantile community. In this verse, the members of such a government are described as dasu, thieves. Their main activity will be to plunder the wealth of the people. Whether a highway robber or a government thief, such a man will be punished in his next life by being thrown into the hell known as Saramaya, where he will suffer greatly from the bites of ferocious dogs. Text 40, and this is text 28. Okay, so we will end our reading here for today, and we will continue on Wednesday from text 28. So, as we've talked about before in this chapter, I think it's helpful to see these descriptions of these hellish planes of consciousness that are determined by the karma of one's bad actions, self-centered actions in various degrees. It's good to see this as mercy, as trying to be super graphic and shock people into paying attention to the repercussions of their actions, because there are people so dense and oblivious to what they're doing and the repercussions of those actions that unless they are given some wildly disturbing threat of a punishment, then they will not wake up to what they're doing. So wherever one may fall on the spectrum of consciousness, these are meant as an act of mercy to help us be more self-conscious, more self-aware. And it works, right? Because you can't hear this and just like be numb. Like, it disturbs you. It's disturbing. So it does a good job. It's a lot of mercy.
And the sins that they describe are so specific.
Yeah. And you know, they're so specific, and you know, not to get, because from one perspective, from a perspective of, you know, mannerly, civilized persons with healthy boundaries and all that kind of thing, some of these things sound wildly absurd. But you know, from like another perspective, not to get too weird, but there are also in today's world, we know about it through the internet, so many people with fetishes that are directly connected to the things described thousands of years ago right here. People are doing these things, whether it's, right? I mean, even talking about the consumption of various kinds of bodily fluids, because so many different kinds have been described here. You can go on Google and find a community of people who are into probably at least 3 or 4 of those fetishes. It's going on. So there is, Bhagavatam is so universal that it's even directed at that audience. If they were to stumble upon Bhagavatam and stumble upon this chapter and these verses, it would be relevant to them. That's how universal Bhagavatam is. So you know, we hope that whoever is engaged in those activities, we hope that they find the capacity to become more self-aware and self-conscious. And we also pray to always remain self-conscious ourselves, and to never think that we are above anyone else, because we can also unexpectedly fall into very hellish conscious conditions. So we always want to be very careful and self-aware ourselves, and always striving to be better. So we continue to be read by Bhagavatam. We think we are reading Bhagavatam, but Bhagavatam is reading us. So we're very grateful for that. Okay. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Tirtha Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhaktiveda Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Navadup Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kun Radha Kun Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Princeton Bhakti Vedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol, Jai Shrimati Bhuma Devi Dasi Ki Jai, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī Devi Dasi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Krishna Keshavadas Brahmachari Ki Jai.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavata.
Dandavata.